So I've been looking through some of the discussions that have been going on some of the support groups, and there's a lot of issues that are crossing over when you're talking about how the effects of COVID have left some of the long haulers. One of the things that's coming out is about depression, and depression is really normal with any type of long-term illness. So when you're talking now to some of the long haulers, they've had the effects, post-COVID effects, for 6, 7, 8 months. And they are well and truly into the phase of it being a long-term chronic illness. That basically means that the condition itself, they don't quite know how to deal with it. And when I say they, I'm not only talking about the people that have it, I'm talking about some of the medical professionals really haven't got a handle on how to deal with the long-term effects of COVID yet. It's still relatively new. So when you're dealing with a long-term chronic condition, you deal with the symptoms, not the condition itself, and you try and cloak and manage those symptoms. So over the next few videos, I'm going to talk about some of the bits that have come through. For this one, I want to be really clear. Depression is no joke. I studied depression at university. I did a mental health sort of module, piece of study. And even though I had studied it, when my own wife had postnatal depression, I still missed it. I didn't see it. And what I'd say to you is that if you are suffering from depression and it's not something that you can really tackle on your own, and it's not something that you should feel bad or weak for suffering. Depression normally arrives with the other two amigos of mental health, so they call them the three amigos. And that's depression, anxiety and stress. They always come together. And if you are worried about what's going to happen in your life, you're worried about whether or not you're ever going to actually feel better again, depression is going to be a normal emotion that you'll feel with that. What I'd say to you is that you should go down to the doctors and you should ask for some antidepressants. And people are very much against taking medications. 9 times out of 10 I agree with them. Depression medications are not for life, they're to get you over the hump. So you normally take those meds for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, a year. What you're looking for is an understanding that the first month or so you're not going to feel any different. The depression meds they use now tend to take about 4 to 6 weeks to kick in. Once you've got over that, you'll feel a lot more emotionally stable and a lot more able to cope with what's going on with you. As I reach back into my memory, I can remember seeing some stuff, a discussion on that when you're depressed, your sense of pain and discomfort increases. So anything you're experiencing now, if you have depression going along with that on top of that, it's going to magnify the sense of unwellness that you have. So the medications is one route. There's another lovely piece of research I read a few years ago, and it spoke about getting out and getting fresh air, which is an interesting analogy of what's going on with COVID at the moment. If you can get yourself out of the house, great. You do need to be out, even if that's for a drive or it's someone taking you somewhere where you sit. The other thing was that piece of research, they got people to go up and actually look at different types of chimneys, of all things, on buildings. And the act of actually looking up and looking around relieved the depression, some of the symptoms that go with it, and the intensity of the depression. So medications is one arm. The other arm is actually trying to get out and do a little bit of something, and the two together will help. So I'm just going to sum it up. If you're suffering depression, go see your GP, go see your family doctor.